Yeah, so you said you were working out and you was feeling the crunch during what, full court games?
Falls, hits,
When were you at your physical
screens.
peak? If you had to reflect in your 30 plus year career, when you were like, yo, I could probably do, this is my superhero, like physicality. You know what I mean? Like your max athleticism. Looking back.
Probably high school.
When you were playing baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
Oh, shit, you were multi.
I did 1 year.
What were you doing in the off season? Or was it just one to the other?
One to the other.
Oh, shit.
And then outside of school, outside of school? Summer sports, so baseball.
Oh, so then travel team too.
Yeah, baseball.
Damn. What is the conditioning for baseball? I've never been in, so and you
know
smile because you're looking at it like conditioning.
No, baseball conditioning got fucking hard.
Okay, explain it to me. I've never been.
So like practice, it's not really the practice side is obviously you're not working on conditioning, but when you do have conditioning before, because how high school you can't touch a ball until a certain date. There's like a certain date where you can't go out on
physically
the field.
pick it up, regulation.
But you could condition as a team, so that was when the conditioning started. But it was like, what are those workouts called? Like high intensity,
like short.
It wasn't
short
even
burst, like
it wasn't even like weight training. You would do weight training, but then you would do calisthenics,
like the running across the field and shit.
Yeah,
high walk, high
like
run.
a circuit. You like do ball slams, like squats, and it's like nonstop,
like a rotation, like a circuit thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That shit, I remember the first time I went, we had to walk down the stairs. I was like, whoa.
Shit. Was there motherfuckers in your team that were like, oh, this ain't shit?
No, I
feel or everybody's pretty much at the same spot because that's the first introduction.
Yeah, I feel like that's
from like middle school to like high school, right? You're like, oh, this is and you're at a private, so that is sports driven. At least their programs are, or have flourished. So you're walking into a program where it's kind of like, these athletes.
That's just pretty hard. Mm-hmm. Football's pretty intense. The double days.
What is that?
Double days? Fuck, you go. It's like 2 practice sessions.
In one
day.
Shit.
Hot as shit. Sometimes, though, it would just be like full pads and then just uppers. So you take your lower pads off. But
see, that's still, that sport also is very, like, high impact, high.
Oh, yeah.
Shit burst, because everything starts, stop.
I think the average play time is only like 4 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm. That's why the game is only like 14 minutes, but it's a 3-hour spectacle on TV, which is fucking amazing. But yeah,
football, school, basketball, there's a lot of
suicides.
Sprints. Shit, yeah, suicides.
That's it. That's the only thing I played, but that was in middle school, so my physical was like, suicides. I wasn't really good.
I did track before, but I just did that just to mess around. That was in middle school.
What were you
I ran long distance.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I remember I think I only went to like 2 events and I stopped.
Because you can.
The coach was like, "Hey, you're gonna do the mile and 2 mile today."
You're
I was like, "What?
Why don't I just run 3?"
2? I was like, "I'm done."
Jeez.
I did that one time. I was like, "I'm not doing 2 mile again."
I remember they was trying to get me in there. Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
So you were a natural runner.
Long distance.
Yeah. You like long distance.
Yeah.
You know how to pace. You know how to do
my short distance wasn't that fast.
Okay. See,
Like
so you had the stamina shit.
Yeah.
So take it to today when you're playing full court, you can't run, or you can't. Your body's not there yet, but do you think you still have it in the tank?
I could run full court, but I'll be gassed faster. Like back in the day, I would just be able to run like 10 games nonstop.
Yeah. Like
now I get
and then layup.
Because when I was a young buck, and then you're looking at the OGs that are like, every time they get the ball, they're like, "Oh, slow down, half court."
Yep.
You're like, damn, fools, fuck, come on.
Or they
run.
take the 3 and then they just turn around to the top of the key defense.
Yeah. And then, and then after that, like, nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm done.
Sub out.
We only played 2 games, but now I'm like, yo, I get it.
Yeah.
I run 2 full court ass games.
That's a lot of running. Yeah. That's a good sport. I mean, basketball's fun because you got to think minimal equipment. Like, it's just fucking a basketball. Yeah. And you can just play by yourself. That's why baseball is fascinating, but I love baseball because of the team aspect.
Yeah.
It looks like they have fucking hella fun. Just kicking in the dugout and shit.
Out of all the sports, baseball to me is the most boring.
Like, playing it too?
Yeah, unless you're like pitching. Pitching was cool.
But what if you had to pitch every day?
That'd be tight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But not like 6 innings, though. Like if you're a relief. Like what's the difference between relief guys and the dugout guys? Or
starters would be throwing more reliefs. You come in to close out the game.
How are they looked at on the team? Are they like quarterback dudes or?
I feel like when I played, we didn't really have like a. It wasn't like that. I feel like that's as you get
deeper in.
Yeah, if you pitch, you just pitch.
Oh,
you're about to start today.
Yeah.
And if you're doing good, you just stay on. If the pitch has a pitch count, once you get to that, it's like, I got to rotate you. I think when you're younger, they try to save your arm.
Already?
As a kid. Yeah, because I feel like if you overthrow yourself, you're about to.
But shit, I'm looking at numbers like Nolan Ryan days and fucking all them. They were like 300 innings a year plus.
Yeah.
Now motherfuckers is barely getting to 200. But they're also throwing some heat.
Yeah, fuck.
Heat.
Hundreds, easy.
I know, but what makes it boring though? What do you think? I've had this conversation before with another friend of mine.
It's just not a.
But you played it though.
I've had games where you might not get one fucking
anything
ball to yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get 3 at bats.
Yeah. So it's more of a waiting game.
Yeah. Always on your toes. Like basketball, something's always about to happen every possession.
Well, I know. That's why it's a little more like
it's
the more exciting. Continuous.
Football, it's always exciting.
Watching it. How is it playing it?
Football?
Your experience.
I didn't really. I only played that year, and I feel like I didn't understand the game yet.
Yeah, see, that's what I never understood either. Like, even basketball was like that to some degree. When
basketball, I picked up, I understood, but football, when I remember the first time we were going over like the formations and the defense, they were like, okay, you got to guard the flats, you got to cover the thirds, you got to.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's a lot of terminology.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to play offense. Just tell me.
See, but that's like in basketball, it's weird because usually, I mean, whatever offense you're running, but it's kind of more of a feel. You're just kind of just going continuously.
That too, I think basketball that took me a while to get to because when you're young and you're learning like plays,
like motion offense.
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
feel like I just got to run this play, like stay along route. Like,
yeah, for
but
real.
Then like you're like
I get to a spot on the court,
score. Yeah, I'm trying.
And then I run down, block, turn around with a hand.
I think it took me a while to get that concept. Like, no, just
run
the ball,
within the offense,
run the motion. If there's something there, then it's there. But
what is something there? I catch it and I got to do this with the threat and then pass it off if I don't see it. Like
I remember, I
got to cook, baby. I got to Carmelo this.
That was like they try to teach you the fundamentals like that, but
nah, it was too late. If you played ball a lot already, like on the streets,
if I'm coach, I'm about to be like, yo, when you get the ball, you just go to the bucket.
That's what I said. That's what I was like, yo. But I mean, I think that learning that's a steep curve, especially if you're just used to playing, on the streets. Yeah. Which I get now because, like those youth leagues start super early.
Yeah. Like leagues start young because they lower the rims. Mm-hmm. There's not like traveling yet.
Yeah. But they're introducing the game.
Yeah.
And to your point, like you were talking about football, it's like there is another layer of the game. And as you obviously continue on to, college ranks, pro ranks, so on and so forth, it becomes even more like game within a game within the game.
Football for sure I didn't understand. I was like,
I wouldn't understand it as a player because you're just one of 11 on each side or something like that, and you're just doing something. And what's up? Am I involved? Did I do something right? I'm thinking in my head if I was like a middle linebacker, one of them like dudes that sometimes will be in the play, but if you're in coverage, you're just kind of like, man, where's these dudes at? And they're flying past you. You're like, what's going on?
4 seconds.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what are we reacting to? But then that's you learning and everything. But I'm like, to introduce that to somebody. Now thinking about it, I can only imagine if you're a high school player and you're also trying to go to school. Here's a playbook.
Yeah.
Do your homework. And you're like, motherfucker, like, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, football would be tight, though.
So
if I could go back and, knew what I knew now, understood the game, I think I would have got it more.
The only thing I have against those sports is it's like luck of the draw in a lot of ways because you have to have some physicality to you. So it kind of separates a large portion of the world. You know what I mean? Am I right? Think about it. You got to do like Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? 6'11", I think he got in the league at like 6'10", and now is 7'1" or something. And he's buff, and he plays point guard, and he could do everything on the floor. He could get basically a rebound, hop 6 steps, and then a layup.
Dunk.
Yeah, or a dunk. Yeah, from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So, like cats like Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb, those are tough dudes to get in. Not to say it won't happen,
especially now. Yeah.
But with now, because what they used to be very special to, and don't get me wrong, they still can. Like cat like Chris Paul are like unique, but what Giannis and them and Embiid and Jokic and all these dudes are doing, you're like, oh, he could do what I can do.
Yeah, eventually the league's just gonna be 6'6" and up.
It's gonna be a bunch of creative players, bro. That you like. Oh, this fool's 7'7" and 300 pounds and 100% fast. Boban? Come on, bro. 7'4", 315 pounds.
He said those ears.
Yeah, dog. Bigger than your head.
And then his hands are like when he holds the ball.
Oh, so you're saying that's a giant?
Yeah, that's for sure a giant.
You believe in giants?
Yeah, he's right there.
So did giants live with the dinosaurs too, or what?
Huh?
Did giants live with the dinosaurs?
Well, I gotta ask him how
maybe
far his lineage went back.
Maybe here's what it is: the dinosaurs were the pets. Come on, man.
Yeah, that guy's a giant for sure.
But that's what the NBA is. So that's why same thing with football. I mean, when you hear like players' accounts of football and they talk about I'm a 6'8", lineman who runs a 4.5. Huh?
Yeah, linemen be going now.
Excuse me?
I'm like, you run as fast as a...
Come on, man.
Just give that fool the ball and let him run.
I used to play wide receiver in high school, but I just got big, so I just played lineman. Like, what? See, a lineman's funny because it's just this. Yeah. And then there's technique to it, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
there's hella technique to it.
But just that alone, and just the physicality. So that's why, for me, that's my only thing, because it doesn't seem like the everyday person. But then you go to baseball, you're like, David Eckstein, 5'6".
Baseball's cool.
160.
You don't even look like you're in shape.
Nah. And they float under the radar. You know what I mean? Like, baseball, I remember watching those Barry Zito years and in San Francisco, and he'd be like, yo, this fool got like 9 women in his Lamborghini, and this fool, nobody even knows who he is.
Baseball's cool, man. I don't think I appreciated it enough.
I think it's an old-time sport, meaning in the sense of I would appreciate it. They should start the league at age 30. Because then you actually really like embrace it, like the being outdoors, the pace of it, the
cool,
just dicking around and shit, because there's some kind of a simplicity to it.
In baseball too.
And it's man versus man. I'm going to throw something at you. Can you hit it? Motherfucker, I can. That's why I understand where the emotion is, because that's simple, like, you can't fucking hit this. Oh, I can't? I got you. And that's the basis of what it is. And then when you see him in the dugout, that's like my funnest shit when they do funny shit to, rookies and shit. Yeah. There's more of it seems like there's more of a camaraderie. Because you're just fucking chilling all day.
Yeah, you are.
Like you said.
There's a lot of downtime. In the
even during the game, it's like everybody's on the bench, like, and you in the outfield, you just, you have
that shit, man.
Being one of them outfielders for like Pedro and shit back in the day, you're like, oh, this is a day off.
Cool. Just chilling.
And then you see him in the dugout or the locker room, they're just playing dominoes all day, just fucking drinking beers and kicking it. I'm like, I get that. And I think that's why baseball is the most unique one.
They get paid hella money.
Yeah, and they have it set up in that manner for a reason. Yeah,
insane.
You make more money as you get older. That's what's cool. It's kind of like in the benefit of both the younger player, because you could sign on as early as high school.
That's where you could play years.
Who's playing right now that's super old? There's a couple 40-year-olds in there. All the Cuban players, because they're usually like 3 years ahead.
Yeah.
38. And you're like, oh man, you're like 42. You see his 50 jacks, 300 average, like.
Baseball's cool.
Yeah, and that seems like more like a mind game. Baseball to me seems a step up from golf in the mental aspect, because the hitting portion is hard.
Yeah,
hitting 1 out of 3 is fucking Hall of Fame status. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, there is a mental aspect. I don't know. I never played, but
golf is pretty. I feel like the mental aspect in that is even crazier.
Is it?
I think so.
But it's you against you trying to survey the land. That's okay. I could see
that's why, because you have no one to blame. You can't say shit about no one.
True. That's like playing. Okay, so baseball and golf should almost be the same sport in many degrees.
Because baseball, someck's throwing something at you.
Yes.
If I can't hit the ball, fuck.
What if they threw a golf ball at you?
Nice.
Like rolled it to you, like how they did, like like kickball, baby bouncies.
Might be different. But fuck golf, you can't say shit. Everyone tees it up.
Yeah.
And no one's you're just there yourself.
See, but that's why golf's dope, because golf is like you see
golf is
motherfuckers
dope.
late in their careers.
I remember
still
watching
playing.
the workouts. I'd be like, "Oh, that is a clown. That is some soft at like."
Which one?
Their workout golf.
Oh,
I remember in high school looking
yeah.
at the golfers, and they would just be. They would have to wear their golf bags,
Uh-huh.
and then just in the halls of the school, they
Uh-huh.
would just run up the one story, and then run across, and then run down with their golf bag. That was their condition. I was like, "What?"
But looking back, you're like,
But looking back, I'm
that's
like,
the
damn,
fucking
I
way.
should have played golf. Golf is, I don't know. I just, I played when I was a kid. Like, I would just mess around.
Yeah.
But I was never serious. I think it's because my dad was like, nah, you're playing these sports. You can go play golf with your friends if you want. Like, I remember I went out a couple times to go play. But yeah, golf's a great sport. Tennis is cool too. I've learned to appreciate tennis.
Is golf one of those things where you learn it, you introduced it in a young age, and then the principles or the mechanics stick with you? Like, you could go out now and be like, oh, I could play. Like, it's not like one of those, like,
no,
I'm not a first-timer.
You definitely can.
You know, because there's motherfuckers that are like,
I
I played before, and then you
look
watch
how
and be
old
like,
golfers are.
yeah, that's what
Phil
I'm saying.
Mickelson.
But I'm thinking about, like, if it's introduced to you, but you don't play it really, like, just say you walk away from it.
Yeah.
And then those mechanics stick. Like, you know, if you picked up a ball,
For sure.
like, and you haven't played since high school, your shot form is going to be based off of what probably you did in high school.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who's like, I tried it, no one really guided me, I just did it a couple times. Versus, no, I actually did this for a lot of time in a portion of my life where I don't remember, but the mechanics are there.
Yeah, I think so. Because golf, if you have the mechanics, you might not hit the ball as far, or but if you have the mechanics, you're still going to be able to
work on something. You have a base to work on.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get to a base.
When you play with all the OGs, they're just like, they don't hit hard, but they still have their mechanics, and they're like, oh, I know what I'm about to do. I'm about to hit it to this part.
They have a plan.
And then my next shot is going to be that nice little range. Then if I get it there, I'm about to hit a little bump and run, boop, and then one putt, and I'll be right there.
And then they're all dialed in because this is how I play.
And then the young bucks, I just be going out there like, yo,
I'm smash this.
I'm going to drive this. If I hit it clean, I'm about to be 300. Okay. And then I'll have like a nice little 100-yard shot. I'm going to hit a nice little pretty chip. And then you hit your drive. That shit curves. You're like, fuck. All right, now I got to hit that shit. All right. And then you hit it hella far over. Then you hit another shot. And then you two-putt.
Whoever came up with these fucking sports is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know who did, but
smart. Probably
I'm thinking this
Klaus
is older.
Trooper.
Who?
The guy
the dude that did
Catan.
I mean, to be honest, because we could go down each and every one of these sports, and we've only, either played them in varying degrees or are just fans of it. And just looking at it is speculating on what the layers of it are. It's always fascinating because you could find, the mental aspect and, adjust it to what life is and shit. Like, yeah, that's a life lesson. That's why sports is cool and it's weird.
Yeah.
Because it almost seems like, I think these are things that have been passed on forever. Like, football is just a tweaked out version of what rugby is, and you could probably assume rugby was probably like a game that motherfuckers was like, oh, here, and then run away from this motherfucker, and now it's this. Basketball, same thing. Take that. It was soccer, and then they were like, hey, pick it up. Hey, bounce it. And it's just like a slow evolution.
Yeah.
Wrestling is, from back in the days, you figure motherfuckers was fighting.
Greco-Roman.
Boxing, you know what I mean? Like, all that shit. I'm like, it's how the technicalities, like, are we evolving so far to the point where we're really going to be those people that are those futuristic people? Like you were talking about, 7 foot, like 50-inch vertical, 440 cats. Genius people that, put TVs on pocket screens. Yeah. Google Glass is coming. Google Watch. That's
what?
You know what I mean? Or not Google Watch, but
the Apple
iWatch or Apple Watch. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude Boban, he just stands there and like grabs the rim. It's not even fair.
But he's not even a famous player. You'd figure the tallest dude is the best dude.
But then when you get to that height, you're like awkward.
That's what's even given more credit, because there's probably like a bunch of 7'4" motherfuckers that work at like wireless AT&T or work at Costco, and they always look at you. You should play basketball.
Yeah,
I do that to people that I see around. Like, hey man, you played basketball before? No, but a lot of people say that. Like, of course. Like, damn, that's weird to have that kind of life.
Walk with the same foot and hand at the same time.
Yeah, the coordination part is hard because that's a physical sport. You got to be agile. So at 7'4", if you're in there, you're one of the, and you're competing against those dudes. yeah, you're worthy of playing. But like I said, it's a physical place. Like, I'm short. And it's stupid that I even pursued it. Like, I was like, man, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at Muggsy Bogues cards. I'm like, look at this fool. This fool's got 10 assists. This fool's the greatest point guard. I could be that dude.
Yeah.
And then you fucking run into, like, somebody in middle school. You're like, yo, this fool's really good.
Yeah. Once competitive starts, you're like, damn.
I thought I was good.
What is this fool at?
Yeah, exactly.
I was balling all the kids in my neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. I was beating everybody up and down Vintage Park. What's up? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Physical sports. Baseball, even just the parks are beautiful. Like, that's cool itself. I think that's not appreciated enough in that arena. That's why.
This one's at Anaheim Stadium. That's a dope. That's a nice stadium.
Dude, fucking. What's it now? AT&T Park?
Oh, I haven't been there.
The Giants? Ever?
I think the last time I went was Pac. Oh, it's the same though, right?
Pac-Bell, yeah. Same.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you went during the Bonds years?
Yeah, I went during Bonds.
That's tight.
Yo,
that's
tell me
tight.
why. I went to a game with my mom and my little brother. And, you know, my mom, she's not like a huge baseball. She just brought us out there because it's like, oh, we're going to take you guys to a baseball game.
Yeah.
So we went, and Giants are losing. But, so it's the last inning. My mom wants to, leave. It's getting late. We leave, and all we hear, like, crazy crowd. Like, the crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
I found out Bonds hit a walk-off.
You guys left early.
Left. I was like, oh my God. That would have been the most exciting game.
That's the worst. You got to remember that. See how you keep that in your heart? Yeah. Now you know it's like, I will never leave a game ever.
Bonds hit a walk-off.
I never been to a game during that time, but that must have been dope. Or did you see in the atmosphere? Yeah.
All the way at the top.
That's tight. Like bleacher side or on backstop up top?
Backstop up top.
Oh, that's nice with the bay overlook. It's just the fucking breeze hit your face hole like,
yeah.
It gets cold as fuck right there.
That game, and then we went to Kings when they were nice. With Jay Williers.
At Arco?
Weber, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. The atmosphere was wild because I worked in the kitchen.
At Arco?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
In 2000, during the playoffs. Like,
damn.
I was there because I graduated 2002, I think.
I've been like, yo, I'm about to take my lunch break. I'll be back.
No, I mean, we was up in the skybox and we was watching the games and shit, and then we was across from the locker room.
Oh, shit.
So I would see, like, the players and shit, because they would park, like, right down the way, and then we would be in these rooms and shit, and it was fascinating, for sure.
Damn.
It's weird. It's like, yo, it's just, people watching Giants play, put the ball in the hoop. It's crazy. Because when you see them and how tall they are, and they're just like, they're us, but they're just fucking tall. Because you never really see them out in public like that.
Yo, I remember when we went to the Patriots and the Niners. And what's his name? Blunt?
Oh, LeGarrette Blunt? Yeah.
Yo, that fool looks like a
house.
Yeah. He was walking by us. I was like, yo.
Yeah, they're on their size levels on a different planet.
That fool's legs look like a tree.
You look like two of me.
Yeah, I was like, damn, he's trucking anybody.
That's what my brother ran into, I think, Vernon Davis and Frank Gore in the Bay one time.
Oh,
and he said they were like, it's the width.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, yo, it was like trying to say what's up to him. My arm could barely get around his arm.
For real, fucking.
And those dudes run 4.44.
Yeah, like, nah.
What do you live? Like a 1,200 pounds.
That's just crazy.
And those are small dudes.
Some of the receivers be like 5'10", 175.
175, yeah.
I'd be like, damn.
Slot. That's like slot receiver.
That's like my height and weight out there.
Almost.
And I'm about to go get smacked by
Ray Lewis, 6'1", 260. Okay. Troy Polamalu was like 5'10", 5'11",
yeah, but that
220, but shit, running full speed.
They said what? It's like getting hit by a car going 20 miles per hour. God,
that's
just
what I'm saying.
Catch me on. I'm not running no slants, no posts. I'll be running flags.
Everything's flats right now.
Flats, flags, hooks to the outside. Nothing
Screens.
cutting inside.
I gotta have 5 dudes in front of me before.
No. Audible.
Post in.
Yeah, no, audible flag. I'm gonna run the other way.
Nah, man. But the game's changing like that too. You know, I remember when I was younger, when I used to watch like Niner games and the Ronnie Lott shit, and motherfuckers hitting motherfuckers. I was like, that used to be celebrated.
Just head straight on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, head to helmet. Yeah, you know what I mean. Breaking legs, body slam. Yeah,
blitz.
Oh yeah, the game. But yeah, the NFL, sports, getting old. But yeah, going back to the original point, trying to get your body stimulated and, you know, seeing if you could still do some of those things, I think for me is kind of, I think, where the game is. At least for the version of life going forward is the physical part now, trying to maintain some sprightness of yourself. It seems like it's possible because you start to see those motherfuckers old doing shit. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh, warm-ups? Yeah, we should probably warm up real quick.
Oh, yeah. See, when you're young, you're like...
Young? Hey, warm up and stretch.
Stretch? I don't need to stretch.
Nah, it's cool. I'm just
me grabbing my toes going to help me drain some threes?
Warm up and stretch? Nah. Don't play after I eat. I just smacked a bag of hot Cheetos. What you mean? I'm about to do the whole shit.
I got 2 Sprites. Cool. I got a hot dog from A&P.
I'm energized.
See, what is it about that? Like, is that some rite of passage? It's like, how many kids are fucking eating healthy and shit?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I used to go out there, just ate hella food. Warm up would just be, all right, we'll just do some layups real quick.
See, that's when you was a teenager in the summertime?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I started feeling that till maybe later 20s, mid-20s, later 20s.
What?
Like eating. Like, especially eating.
Oh, yeah, trying to curb the diet.
Yeah, I need to. No, like playing right after.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
It was one time you realized that.
Like, eat real quick, and then let me chill for a second.
Like, nah, hit me up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I tried playing once. I was like, yo, let me just to the park. It was used to be near my house, and I had a park over there, and I would roll over there hella early, like get some shots up. Like 10 minutes later, I was like, I need to go home. I can't. I'm dizzy. You know what I'm saying? Because it was one of those just trying to go in cold, like, no warm up.
Yo, go to the park and try and do a full court layup. Full speed.
You're done. That's done. That's done, bro. I got to drive a car there.
I was messing around. I was like, I want to just go do a layup. Did I just do a left-hand layup? It didn't even feel right. It's like, damn.
I think I might be able to do it. I just fucking did like a couple windmills the other day, like breakdancing moves. My brother's like, yo, can you do the... I was like, I don't know. It's been a while. I just rolled it out. He's like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah, I'm surprised myself.
Damn.
But, I mean, to be honest, that's like...
squats.
But that's gymnastic shit. You know what I mean? B-boying is just yoga and gymnastics put together. Because all you're doing is doing some handstands.
B-boy training the hardest training?
But see, here's the thing, though. When you approach it, and I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else but myself, but when it's given to you, it's more of like a...
would you say B-boy training is harder than jiu-jitsu?
I don't know.
Jiu-jitsu harder?
I'm not even a real jiu-jitsu trainer. I mean, if I had to look at both, I think
doing.
You know what it is? It's not difficult. It's if you've never been on your back or not used to being hands on the floor and just kind of doing shit like that, both of those are going to be difficult because your body's trying to get used to the idea of what this is, whether it's on your back or whether it's, crawling like a, like an animal on the floor.
Shit, just the hand shit is hard for me.
Yeah, like the fingertips?
Yeah, like this shit.
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to be?
See, I go like this.
Because I remember all the B-boys when I was, kicking it with them, they was like, yo, right off top, if we see a B-boy and their hands
are flat
like on the palm,
yeah,
and they're not on their fingertips, or they're doing like some weird shit, we're like, oh, falls on a B-boy. I'd be like, damn, them fingers are like the homie's hands were like this, and his whole palm
was down with his
like,
fucking
how the fuck is your hand?
But that's why the hand grip is always it's already important, just because you're trying to figure out like what works with your fingers. Because
I'm about to watch the Olympics, if I see some B-boys,
that's what I'm thinking. But
dog points.
The Olympics are going to take away what the artistry is,
probably,
because the whole point of it is, to your point, we were talking about sports. B-boying's the same shit. B-boying's like, yo, oh shit, you're good, good. Boom, we back. B-boy Olympics. I think it's going to mess up the artistry. Because it's like this. Imagine if they had painting Olympics, right? And they're like, okay, you can't do like some of your expression stuff. You can't move around a lot. We kind of require you to do this. Nothing derogatory. We're going to decide what you paint. Are they going to have cool music?
Yeah, true. Like,
what music they're going to have?
You can't just walk up to the fool and be like...
Yeah, you can't throw a dick at them. You know what I mean? You can't celebrate, I don't think. Nothing like, oh, got you. Like,
you can't flip over nobody?
I doubt it. You know what I mean? Shout out Morris. Like, he be doing that shit. Morris always be trying to, like, flip on motherfuckers. I was like, yo, but that's what makes it cool.
Yeah.
That's what makes the intense energy. So I think it's good for B-boying because it's going to be
the
exposure. But at the same time, will there be, because you're starting to already see it, like the new generation of b-boys, like all the wild, like all types of new physical stuff, like one-hand air flares, like basically just hopping on your hands one-handed and
triple
spinning
flips and shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's similar to what kind of happened in the NBA. If there was this much money being made in the b-boy scene, let's, for instance, let's say they're making like, baseball money, the best physical people will follow that sport. Yeah. This is how it works. That's what happened with MMA. It was a bunch of, like, I like to punch people in the face. I know a little bit of training, and then an actual athlete comes in like, oh, like John Jones, like, well, I come from a bunch of football players, so we're like super athletes. You know what I mean? And then the whole game changes. She's like, oh, now it's garnering this. So I don't know if b-boy's going to do that, because the idea isn't really all the gymnastic part. That's the part that's really like, ooh and ah, but it's more of the style, like the shuffles and shit. But a lot of emphasis isn't put on that, I don't think. And I don't think going forward they're not going to try to put as much emphasis.
Power shit.
Yeah, it's all the power shit. Because that's what gymnastics are. Like, when you see the gymnastics doing the floor routine, they're like, man, when's he going to do like the handstand though and the backflips? You're just waiting. You're like
trying to see those little twinkle toes.
Yeah, I don't need your hand. I don't need your hands doing this. Look, just do the triple backflip with the, you know what I mean? Do with the foot back.
The rings.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, all that. Like, that's the physical feat. So I think what b-boying, I'm thinking, is when it gets to the gymnastics, it's going to be more of an emphasis on that. And I don't know if that changes what the perception is to the public. Because in reality, it's, b-boy. They won't even call it b-boy. They're probably like, no, that's derogatory. You got to call it breakdancing competition.
Damn, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it takes away the whole thing. You've been around some of them.
Take away from the culture.
You've seen a lot of dicks being thrown around. You know what I mean? That's what happens. They just throw them around like that. You know what I mean? But that's the vibe. That's what the energy is. I don't know why they would want to take that away, but
we'll see. When's that? 2022? Next year?
I think it's Tokyo. Or is it France?
Tokyo, right?
I don't think it's Tokyo. Is it Tokyo?
France? I don't know.
When's France? Because Tokyo's winter, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Or summer. Summer next year.
I don't even know.
Back on the Olympics. Oh, you were talking about they found the fifth ocean. Is that true?
I don't know. I guess breaking news.
Oh, we were talking about the lighting structure on the North Pole.
Oh, that's the fifth ocean.
I mean, my thing is with the Northern Lights, that does look like a light show going on, and you're like, you can't go to this rave. Yeah. You're like, why not? Nobody can go. That's only on certain days.
Bobon can.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where, everybody goes. When they say, oh, you pass away and go to that party, you're like, what? You know what I'm saying? All them dudes. What if that was the case? I mean, if I live in Wacky World, which I do, I'm like, yo, all the fallen soldiers have all at that rave.
Just chilling.
Why not? Or is it up in the clouds that they say with the white refrigerator with the milk and cookies? Is that what it is? With the, all white? It looks like all that all white party. Is that what we're doing?
The rave.
Or is that the one down there with the heat?
Hell no.
But I mean, when you look at the Northern Lights, it's like it's a spectacular scene. Yeah. But yeah, to the Southern Ocean thing, National Geographic said they found a fifth ocean somewhere in Antarctica area.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
So they say, I think Indian Ocean, and then was it Atlantic, and then Pacific, and then what was the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and then what's the other one?
I don't know. So
Man,
that's
you
the
don't
fourth,
know
and the fifth is
Southern Ocean, I think they call it.
Oh, at the bottom of the globe where it's round. So the bottom.
Yeah,
of
the
it,
bottom. What were you thinking?
I don't know. I thought our world was, if it's our world round, so the oceans are on the sides.
Oh, you're talking about up ocean, left ocean. It should be that.
So is it down?
Because left ocean is Pacific, right ocean is Atlantic, Indian Ocean is middle, and then down is Southern Ocean. I don't know. Is there an up ocean?
Yeah, the north.
But I don't. But that's what I'm saying. Is that the same? That's maybe an ocean. No, there'll probably be we have an up ocean also.
Up ocean.
The top of the circle ocean.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if they're finding more, that's just weird to say if you found a new ocean. Because to me, I'm like, are we pretending that it wasn't there?
Can we eat fish?
It's like, I don't know. We just found a whole new ocean. Are we good now? No, they're endangered. Like, well, then what's going on? I go to other parts in the country and there's like hella space. I'm like, I don't know.
Let's go to Sunfish and buy all the fish now.
I mean, you found a fifth ocean, bro.
So we're good.
Will prices go up or down?
I don't know.
Depends
what they find out there.
What would be
out there? Is it a farming ocean?
I don't know. They said they just found it, but they also say it's been in existence. So I don't know which one to believe. What would you think would come out of there? Like, name like the dopest way to like put fish together. You know what I mean? Like not fish together, but if you had to, the fish you eat now. If you had to be like, if there was a fish that was like this,
what would I want?
Like a make believe fish, because clearly it's a Southern Ocean, and who knows what the fuck's in there. For instance, like this, I'd want a fish that looks like Kobe beef. Can you imagine, bro? There is one. It's fucking ahi tuna belly, but yeah. I mean, what if they just said, "Oh shit, we just found this is where tunas come from." Wagyu tuna, a tuna that basically tastes like beef, or halibut that tastes like fried chicken and shit.
A tuna they feed Wagyu to. It eats.
That's probably the Southern Ocean. That's where all the crazy animals are, like the liger, the griffin. All the stuff that's exclusive,
dragons,
all the stuff that we don't have enough, all the endangered species, they're all down there.
Yeah,
straight up, they're in the new ocean.
But somehow they filmed it. I don't know.
Oh, that's right, they filmed it. How did they do that?
The best scenes. So how long were they out there for? Cause
the one you talk about all the time, was it the gecko running away from?
That's the illest one. A baby dragon is born into the rocks, and as soon as it's born, it's got to run across.
Yeah.
Against 1,000 snakes.
It's like,
how do you know that?
How do you know this is the spot?
You're like, all right, I gotta go. I'd be like a newborn.
I mean, shit. His awareness level is 99.
White Walkers and a newborn, and you told the newborn they have to survive.
You don't even say it. Yeah. There wasn't nobody telling the gecko.
They don't even get dragon glass.
You need to tell it. Like no one was telling him. He just got out. Was like, I'm running. Yeah.
And then was hella smart. Like slowed down.
Unless he was born, and then they was like, all right, we're going to put you in a fake egg and then come out and then do that same thing. Like they rehearsed it or something.
That fucker was kind of big, too. I don't know.
But that is a good point, though. You always, when you mention that, it's cool because you're like, dude, look what they caught in nature. And then you think about it, you're like, this is happening somewhere, and it's probably like just this big.
And then you have all of the OGs. So first of all, hold on. This doesn't make sense to me. I got to go back because I didn't even think of this. You have all the OGs, all the parents, whatever, waiting on the other side to see if they make it. So you're telling me that they sacrificed their life against all these snakes to go over there to lay the egg, and then have to come back and then be like, all right, let's see if my offspring makes it.
Let's see if this fool is strong.
Nope, he's not part of 300. He's not a Spartan.
Maybe that's where they got the idea of 300. That doesn't make sense.
I gotta look that up again.
I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, is this where all the what was chasing after them? Snakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like this, can you look that up on Google Maps or something? Like, snake hangout? Like, is this the snake hood? Like, where
or the only thing I think of is that all of these lizards go to a spot where there's no snakes. They lay their eggs, and then the snakes are like, yo,
roll up.
I found the spot. Pull up. 6 months, they about to hatch.
Shh. It's a snake in the grass. Like, yo, I just saw somebody lay some eggs.
See, but then there should be a war between like the snakes and lizards. Like,
there probably is a war.
All these snakes.
There probably is a war. Snakes versus lizards. It's almost like they're part of the same team.
I feel like dragons should just roll up and hit them with that fire.
Where are the dragons?
On the 6th ocean.
the up ocean?
Yeah, the up ocean. Flying, yeah.
Dog, right. Dragons. I mean, look, if there's fucking geckos and snakes and
dinosaurs.
There's
gotta be dragons.
I mean, I'm thinking if there's dinosaurs, there's dragons. It's weird how some people can confuse the two.
It's weird how some people would be like, dragons, nah, bro, you're crazy. But there's a T-Rex, though, because I saw the bone. You saw the bone?
You're crazy,
I saw hella dragon tattoos on everybody.
You know what? You see dragons in ancient history, like being drawn. Even the fact that it's drawn.
Yeah, like deep, like.
That's already. Then you don't see like, oh look, they have a Tyrannosaurus Rex etching in a stone or a Tyrannosaurus Rex in a book. Nobody from the past has drawn a big ass kangaroo with a lizard face and no arms. You know what I mean? Like, how is that the most dominant dude? Because I'm confused on the size.
Yeah.
Because Jurassic Park will make you think, oh man, these things are like giraffe size. I'm like, okay. I was like, but there's that dude, and then there's a vegetarian one. Like, What? Like as if a million years ago, motherfuckers like, hey man, we knew he ate vegetables. Like, wow,
just plants.
How'd you not get that?
Because
shit?
his teeth.
Oh,
if their teeth's like this, they were able to slide the branch in.
I don't know.
And they just
like I said, bro, not too many dinosaur high school test. You never touch it, and they throw toys at you. I mean, I'm a crazy person. Like I said, they're cool looking. The idea is amazing, but I would rather go with just them hybrid animals. Like I'll fuck with a liger. Those are real.
Yeah.
Griffin, dragon. They're coming back. They're coming back soon. It'll be the new shit. Trust me.
I mean, you just take one of those big ass lizards that ran away from the snakes, and then breed it with like a eagle.
Butterfly or eagle. What's that sex gonna look like? Eagle got a scissors on his face, and it's like 10 foot long.
Just gotta see what happens.
Shit.
The dragon.
Who's the top and the bottom in that situation? Who's the dominant one?
The eagle.
But see, what you just described also though? The Mexican flag.
No.
Eagle clutching the serpent.
Yeah, the little worm, right?
But that's a serpent or a snake or a...
Oh.
What does that mean? See, let me go back to that. The dragon, like you said, your fruit. Are you of the dragon blood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
Serpent knowledge. That's what I was talking about the I Ching, bro.
I got one. It's buried in my backyard somewhere.
No, it ain't.
Secret spot.
You a liar, bro.
Underneath the dragon fruit.
The I Ching is something that I have to read. Like, do you be reading books like that?
Nah, I should.
You don't read. I don't read either.
I don't read.
I read one book in my life.
I think I read a couple.
Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Every time there was silent reading, I always be looking for them books with mazes in them and shit. Or a drawing book. Like, let me look at this shit.
Or I'll get the book that has a movie.
What do you mean? Oh, about a movie?
Watch the movie. Harry Potter. But yeah, I read all 8 of them.
I mean, that's how I used to do shit. I used to do a lot of shit. I used to do that shit all the way up until high school. Like Cliff Notes. When I figured out what Cliff Notes were, I was like, yo, I'll use some fucking Cliff Notes.
Read. Reading's good for you.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
me, to be honest, the way I think about reading, when they tell you to do it, that means don't do it. I think everything's opposite. That's why my argument with people is always fucking funny. Man. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
You haven't even read anything.
I know. That's why I blame it on the reading.
That you don't know nothing?
My English isn't good because it's the reading. My writing skills were off.
Your penmanship. Is your penmanship good?
My penmanship?
Yeah.
If I wanted to be.
But your natural penmanship is shitty.
Oh, because I just be writing fast.
But I mean,
writing?
Yeah. See, that's one of those things. Do you think that is even important anymore?
Penmanship?
Yeah.
No, because you just type the shit.
Okay, do you think that's by design? Why we're like that? You think it was the plan to ultimately not be able to write through communication no more?
Maybe. But I could write good. My penmanship's nice.
My penmanship's
essay
shit
writing
too.
is...
I write in all capitals, and I don't even know how to write a full sentence anymore.
Oh, damn.
I mean, think about how people text. That's how people talk. It's just broken English. Yo, what's up? What's good? I don't know. Like everything's 3 letters.
You type no more. You're just talking to it.
Exactly. So it's almost like they're taking away all the skills we know how to fucking
essays
live.
In like 20 years, it's just audio essay. Professor's just like, okay, here's.
Essay. They probably won't even do. I mean, they might not even do that.
Yeah, just like good essay.
But see, when you get into college, I'm thinking about it now. What is it to show your proficiency in your future job? Is that what college is?
Not even, man, because people don't even get the jobs they want with their degree.
Because at that age, you're thinking you're going through a lot of changes in my head. Because I was in culinary school during my college years. So me experiencing that was, I think, beneficial only in the idea that I was put into situations with all types of people already. I wasn't just stuck with 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. I was fucking going to school with like 30, 40, 50-year-olds and also had 20-year-olds around me. And I was living in the shittiest part of San Francisco. So I was trying to fend for my life at like fucking 19, 18 years old. Like, motherfucker. And you pay how much? You know what I mean? I even paid a lot for culinary school.
Permanent debt for life.
Going forward, do you think colleges will still be the same? In Deeks' world, I know, like in the real world, but if you had to look at it, how does this world change?
I don't know, man. I think college will forever be there.
Why?
I don't know, actually. Yeah, I think it will.
But I mean, how many people go to college now? Like a percentage, if you had to put...
A lot of people go to college.
In the country?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Not a lot of colleges out there.
In the States?
Yeah. You're talking about the whole gamut. Community also. Community, state.
Yeah. Universities.
But that's what I was saying. It was like everybody's going there to try to get a job. But in the world that, is going forward, like, what's the job? Anybody that got into electronics, the way it seems, and I'm not that dude, but it was always described to me this way. The shit that I was learning, by the time I got out, I was 4 years behind as opposed to ahead.
True, 4 years behind. And
because the people that are teaching them,
plus in debt.
That's what I'm saying. The people that are teaching them are clearly not in the today. That's why, I mean, I don't understand what I never experienced it. I mean, I went to community college for a little bit, but it was no different than high school to me.
Yeah.
It was just more permanence. Like, this is going to help you get to the next level, to get to the next level. And if you want to continue schooling, like, I'm like, how many more years? And when you're young and dumb, you're just like, yo, I'm just trying to kick it. I'm trying to
think,
you know?
I don't know. It is weird. Because there are a lot of people just graduate and be like, oh, I got a degree now. I'm about to just apply for this job. Yeah. And then you're in a job and they'll be like, oh, if you have a degree, you get a pay raise. Don't matter, though. Just whatever.
Whatever degree.
Yeah. About to just buy one.
I mean, don't you think at some point you can? I mean, there's online colleges now, right?
Yeah.
And not to say you just sign one and get it, but at some point it becomes this weird, what are jobs? And then this weird requirement of having a college degree became a thing. Where if a motherfucker knows how to do the job or is willing to, or however, what you need to seek, I think that stuff is starting to kind of get a little wonky. Because you see, it only seems like motherfuckers that could go to high tier, colleges have to have a certain amount of money. We've seen this before, or some certain kind of influence.
I get it. Certain jobs, though, I feel like college is definitely necessary.
Like what?
Like a doctor. I'm not about to just be like, oh, this fool was a hard worker. He could learn how to be a doctor.
Good point.
You have to know shit.
But what is a doctor really? You're talking about like the general doctor that's like, oh, man, you might have a flu.
Medicine, yeah. No,
what?
Not general doctor. I'm talking like
surgeons.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Have to.
Surgeons, anything that has to do with opening bodies and shit like that.
You gotta know some shit.
That's cool.
I can't just pick
general doctors. I'm not no diss on general doctors, but
but a lot of like other jobs.
Call me crazy.
I feel like
name some. That's what I'm saying. It's weird, right?
Psychologist.
But I mean, when you're further schooling, what is the goal? Are you just trying to understand how to diagnose people and learning all the terminology? Because in psychology versus philosophy, it's like psychology puts it into a book as a symptom or a something, where philosophy is more of an idea, I guess, or more of just a discussion, a loose discussion, essentially. See, that's why psychology is cool, but you're trying to learn terminology on the idea of capping what the human experience is to some degree. And I mean, to me, I think a therapist should be anybody over, 60, 80 years old that's dealt. Been through some shit and then deals with people.
Like imagine a fresh student that just graduated.
That's what I said.
22 years old.
And
and you're about to teach me through my life? You probably ain't even done.
See, or am I paying for you just to listen to me?
Could be both.
That's why fucking, people who talk on hotlines back in the days, they would just talk to people because people either felt lonely or just wanted to say some shit. And I want to feel comfortable with somebody. See, that's why I'm kind of like, yo, do you have to have a degree just to be, not saying a psychologist, but some form of therapy? But that almost seems like, well, you might as well just talk to the people that you're comfortable with talking with.
True.
Yeah, see? So, I mean, maybe engineering, but it seems to me like if you were 21 and you really like doing that shit, just work with the company that's already engineering.
True.
Why go to college?
That's what I would think, too.
Yeah, because I would assume, is every engineering company doing the same base?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have somebody you can mold into
then
your company?
Then you get the political side of like, well, let me go to my alma mater.
And pick from there.
Yeah, this full graduate. Oh, I'm a USC alumni.
So that sounds like you talking about if you just replace university with like the word mafia. Like, oh, you part of the mafia? Okay, sure. I'll go grab from my old mafia and then, or
it is. It's exactly what it is.
Not to say there's nothing wrong with that, but it is interesting because that's where fraternities and shit like that come from. And those are all just big network. Thank you.
A lot of times that's the main point.
So am I paying just to be in a network?
So a lot of times, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Think so.
Both school for multiple purposes like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Degrees, I like. This is the stupid person talking. I'm dumb. I didn't go to college. This is just speculating here, folks.
Me too. I feel like a lot of jobs that, not special jobs like doctors and all the shit we just talked about, but a lot of other jobs that require just learning it and figuring it out, I feel like I could do better than a lot of people.
Yeah, so I think you get to the situation where people are going into professions only for the benefits or the money, as opposed to what they actually like to do.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when you kind of see certain things like that, and people just kind of have to make a choice. And sometimes you're just driven by, well, this is a good paying job. I might not necessarily like it, but I'll just do it because, maybe I'm into. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe you're into it. Maybe that's just part of the journey. But in my head, I'm like, even doctors, I was thinking the other day, I was like, it is the idea of healthcare very strange. Because how did we do this about 100, 200 years ago? Because we've gotten to the point now where, like, this is this big overhaul of, like, I need help from these people to make me feel better.
Call the maester.
Oh, see, but that's how it would seem like. But maester's just like, let me get you some natural tonics and potions, do this, and then you're good. You know what I'm saying? We would be knowing how to take care of ourselves, but for some reason we've either got to this point of thinking like I need a pill for all my problems,
business,
or how to turn into a business. I mean, think about it. Pharmacy's huge, and wasn't it right before all this shit went down? Pharmacies were shitty. Remember that dude that bought the Wu-Tang album? He was a pharmacy guy, millionaire. You get what I'm saying? And we're like, dude, big pharma. Everybody says it.
Yeah.
And with this situation, who came out on top? Big pharmacies. Yeah. Think about it. You had three businesses that most people never really heard of. I mean, Johnson & Johnson people know of, but they came up big.
Yeah.
Because, where they were free, the shots. So you figure, who's paying for it? Like, we are. And we're going to pay for it again and again because we're all juiced into it.
Yeah, that shit's true.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, what is the education? That's why as we continue to go forward into the new world, it does feel like things are going to change. Like there's speculation, like I heard some shit like this.
I think it does a little bit, but not crazy.
Well, it can't be crazy. It'll be slowly.
Have that, yeah.
It'll be slowly.
It's still engraved in it. A lot of people like, oh, that's the first thing you do after
go to college.
Adulthood. Go to college. You get your degree. That's where you start to figure out your real life.
But that's just with our generation.
Yeah, but
the generation after us, it seems like it might not be the case. They're already talking about taking history out of school, like in general. I mean, it's already horseshit to begin with. So, is that good or bad? I don't know. Yeah. Like even the shit I talk about, when I talk about the shit about the past, it's fascinating. I don't know if it's important. I find it important, but that's shit that's never going to be really talked about.
I still think college will be there though, because the money. If the money's there, you have to.
But you got to think like where
sports is crazy.
Coach K left. Sports. It's over.
He did leave.
But Nick Saban did resign.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Nick Saban resigned like an 8-year deal.
College sports.
But see, college sports ain't gonna be the same either. You see with the G League, they're starting to garner like top talent coming out of high school because they're getting paid and they're underneath the brand. Money. So you figure, are we moving away from the old model, and then we're going back to like, cats like Gonzaga, 4-year teams playing in Final Fours again? That's like old school shit where it's like, these are 3-4-year starters, not one and dones.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Coach K's gone. I mean, Calipari probably out of the league.
One and done.
Nah, because all those one and dones now are just going straight to G League.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless they are a top, lottery pick.
Yeah. But I thought they changed it though. I thought colleges, students could accept endorsements.
I think only in California.
Oh, just California.
I think.
Oh, then everyone want to play in California.
But that's why the pack like the last couple of years has been kind of stacked lately.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I think they were talking about student athlete stuff, but you got to figure the whole controversy with that is look how many other sports there are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, how the fuck they get funding? And we over here water polo like, we need funding. We're the number one.
Yeah, I don't know. Colleges are crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're never going to leave. But I did find something interesting about colleges when I was doing a little bit of digging. Like, I've been on some campuses, not a lot. The architecture is amazing on there, too.
It is.
I think all those places are not what they say either. Just like how I think cathedrals, I'm like, nah. These aren't what we say they are. These things were all something else. Because who built a college back then? And what was the point of college? To give people information about what the world that we're going to give you. Clearly. That's the only way you get people on board. How do I teach you how to live in the world I created for you? I give you from age 5 to age, mid-22, and then maybe to 30, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I give you the rules and what the things are of the world. Because it's not only what you're educated in, just what you think you're being educated in. It's the whole entire environment. You know, students alike, professors, the everyday life, whatever place you're in, you know, that's going to ultimately influence who you are.
College is crazy, man.
Because it has to be a culture shock. If you're always in the college system, and then the minute you get out to the real world, let's just say you're mid-20s or, you know, maybe even later than that, is your first experience out in the real world, as opposed to being, you know, 18 out your house. Sometimes even 16, 15-year-olds that get emancipated be out the house. And not to say the definition of success is different, but people who could fare their own at 15, 16, 18, like, you got to give those motherfuckers credit. Especially if it's forced or if it's by choice, and the fact that they're able to survive out. Those people, that seems like that was more of the thing back then. You remember, like, you know, you hear that, when you 18, you out the house. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a whole families by age 22. With a job, everything survived it, you know. Yeah, now how you want to frame whatever that lifestyle is for those people or however it works, at the end of the day, you're like, to me, that's like living. You know what I mean? At 18 to be on your own. Because now we're living in the opposite world. We're like, yo, motherfuckers ain't leaving the house till like 45, 50.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just wild. College is crazy. I don't know. People feel superior just because they went to.
But I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to say it. But internally, I think that's kind of the idea.
I'd be like, okay, what do you do now? What now?
I mean, even what now? I'm just like, what does that do? Because I would assume, like, you would surround yourself with people who think in like kind. So then now you're all part of this thing. It's like an inner bubble in an inner bubble. No one's ever going to question you because the people around you are all sipping the same juice. So, and we look down on everybody else, I guess, is the idea. I'm definitely stupid. I've had this conversation with smart people, quote unquote. Like, oh, I didn't have an education. I was like, well, then I guess I'm not legitimate. None of your sources are all from the internet. Who puts the information on the internet? I was like, who writes the books? It's the same thing. Your shit's not valid. I was like, it isn't. But yours is, because there's a validation system for your shit. Like, does that make sense? You know what I mean? You get into that argument.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why, what are the truths of the world? It feels like, see, this is what I hear from a lot of people. Man, where do you get your information from? It's hella confusing. I was like, it can be confusing. But in retrospect, you have to think, well, what do you really believe? And if you don't know, there's something right in your fingertips that you could go find out. Well, how do you know which one's the right or wrong? You don't. You have to read a lot of that shit to come to your own understanding. Because it's what your reality is at the end of the day.
True.
Because you don't have to have a lot of that shit in your scope. Like we always talk about. Like, you could, like the Bruce Lee shit, empty the cup and fill it again. Like going off the Buddhism and the Taoism shit and the empty the mind and it's today, live in the now type shit. Like, yeah, you don't have to have any of that in your mind. But you could see where, if you're not in control, like I always say, somebody else is. And you don't know who it is.
The guy giving you the degree.
But it's a sense of, like, accomplishment.
Yeah.
It almost leads to the idea. We want that. We want that.
Yeah.
We want somebody to be like, hey, you did good. Oh, what next? What next? Do this next.
Yeah.
Yes. And not to say there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sheep as fuck. I love being sheep. At least 20% of my life is sheep. Because I can't go 100%. I'm crazy only until I start watching fantasy baseball and football and all that shit.
For sure, jumping.
Yeah. I eat sugar. I'm not like that. You know, I'm that dude. I'll eat fast food once in a while. It's not the greatest thing, but I'm do it.
Yeah, shit tastes good.
You're not about that. Hey, thanks for the chaga mushrooms. What up? What else is going on? You want to get any parting words? Thanks for the time. I always appreciate it. What's up? Get healthy.
Get healthy. Stay healthy.
You know?
Think for yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Ask yourself questions.
Hey.
Question things that are told to you. I don't know, man.
Thanks, brother.
All the little cliches.
Cliches for a reason.
Cliches for a reason. They can sound
The clues
corny.
are here. Everything's in front of us.
The easiest shit is the hardest shit to do yourself.
You got to disengage, but be engaged.
Yeah.
You got to be there, but not be there. You got to yin, and you got to yang. Straight up, bro.
For real.